3, 2, 1. Doctor Who is back for a new season. Yes, I didn't know either, actually, not until the day that it was airing, because I don't think many people care nowadays. And that's certainly going to be reflective, as you can see from the title of this video. Russell T Davies's absolutely horrendous return to the franchise has tanked it beyond all compare. And guess what? They brought everything on themselves. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Yes, this ambient lighting is on purpose. Don't ask, trust me bro, ask no questions, hear no lies. And on Saturday, Doctor Who returned to the small screen. Not that anybody seemed to know, or not that anybody seemed to particularly care, because the only time that most people heard about it was after it had actually aired. However, there was maybe a couple of things which stood out thanks to the episode.
Planet of the incels.
Say yes.
Or who could forget this cracker? Not that you'll find many crackers in Doctor Who nowadays.
We will make reparations and live in harmony.
Now, I'm pretty sure that if there was a planet of people who weren't getting it, it would rapidly change into a planet of getting it like rabbits, if you know what I mean. But of course, these are the ramblings of some middle-aged, far-left weirdo that wants to live out their Marxist commie utopia and not actually thinking about if you applied these elements. I should have just stopped at far-left weirdo, really, shouldn't I? But we are living in a world where if you put cultural Marxism into the Google search engine, this is the very first thing that you're greeted with. Who says that the left have overtaken absolutely everything? Me, actually. Me. Education, government, entertainment. Anyway, I could carry on for quite a bit. That's why pretty much in every form that we see, streaming, television, comics, you name the genre, video games, all the women that are now presented as strong are actually just absolutely insufferable cows. I just realized I live in Yorkshire, so I better be careful with what I say, because you never know if you're going to get the knock. But with Jennifer Salke recently being fired from Amazon, or as some of the media are saying, stepping down in the middle of the day while crying, carrying a box full of goodies, is the worm finally beginning to turn? After all, being stuck in development hell for absolutely years now, and goodness knows how many millions they've thrown at it, never mind Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the Tomb Raider TV series starring Sophie Turner as the unpopular choice has apparently been cancelled as well.
It's about damn time.
Well, the answer is no. You see, Russell T Davies has received his £100 million from Disney to make these two series. He's also received extra funding from the BBC, aka the British public, so he doesn't have to give two hoots about conforming to anything or worried about turning a profit. All he has to do is keep himself rooted in his little bubble, pushing his ideology, making Doctor Who less and less popular by each episode. When Peter Capaldi was on his final season of The Doctor and he had some absolutely horrendous scripts to work with for the most part, carried purely by just how absolutely incredible an actor he truly is, and just how he 100% personified everything that the Doctor was and stood for, the ratings would be absolutely amazing for today. But sadly, it is today, and the Doctor Who ratings are in the toilet. Last season's Ncuti Gatwa's first saw Doctor Who posting record ratings. Unfortunately for the show, in the wrong direction, as it did post the lowest overnight ratings that Doctor Who has ever seen in its history, and it seemed intent on breaking its own record throughout that season. And even with the consolidated numbers, which are the final numbers, the 7 plus 4s mean absolutely nothing, it was still bringing in 3.0 million viewers, showing that the interest in Doctor Who had absolutely gone. People had dropped off the show in droves, and if you think Russell T Davies was going to change his attitude or the storytelling, you'd be very wrong indeed. And that leads us to the first episode in this season. And here it is in all its glory. Episode 1 drew a meager 2.0 million, the lowest overnight rating in the history of Doctor Who, breaking the record of, checks notes, Ncuti Gatwa from the previous season, which broke the record of, checks notes, Ncuti Gatwa from the previous season. Yes, we are now at a point where not only is Doctor Who on the verge of going below 2 million viewers overnight, which is most likely inevitable now, but it also lost 600,000 viewers from the opening episode of Ncuti Gatwa's first season. This isn't a division of fans. The fans have absolutely gone. Family entertainment has been thrown out the window so that this broken, pathetic man called Russell T Davies can sniff his farts in his echo chamber and pat himself on the back, breaking his arm in the process, saying, "Aren't I a good libtard?" Before Peter Capaldi's Doctor regenerated, he said something very poignant indeed, written by Stephen Moffat, and I think Stephen Moffat saw what was actually going to happen to Doctor Who and was putting in a warning which has since been utterly ignored and dismissed.
Never be cruel, never be cowardly. Hate is always foolish.
And that's just it. Chris Chibnall became very cruel and cowardly because those were the traits of the Doctor that he brought to the table in Jodie Whittaker. And not only that, the cruelty to destroy the legacy of the Doctor by putting in the timeless children. Moffat was given us warnings. Chibnall was there to satisfy himself, his ego, and the BBC. And here we are now with Russell T Davies more than happy to continue that cruelty and cowardice, taking other people's money to destroy a beloved franchise. What's even more hilarious is approximately 12 years ago, the BBC had the two biggest franchises they'd ever had to be able to sell them to the rest of the world: Top Gear and Doctor Who. And in that period of time, in their desperate effort to become more progressive with these shows, to erase Jeremy Clarkson and his personality and what he brought to the table, and the Doctor, the legacy of a white Doctor, which the BBC were embarrassed about, they have managed to tear apart their two biggest franchises. That not only has Top Gear been cancelled now, but Doctor Who will absolutely follow at the end of this season. Well done. Defund this absolute joke of an organization, because if they truly have the courage of their own convictions, then they can find their own fucking money. And I don't think Disney are going to be too willing to open their wallets to them again, at least not for a while. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Bye for now.